education, about how to be
I think
outside,
it is necessary, the economic.
about education, and a lot more. Podcast we get a lot of interesting in United States too. NRI read
How many US NRs now? So they hesitate any difficulties, right? About starting from paying the bill, the house.
Hello everyone, welcome back to my podcast. Today we have a very special, interesting person with us who has been an educationist for last,
29.
29 years. 29 years, it's a long time, but has been in US for last 16, 17 years now, has been an NRI. So, this podcast is going to be really interesting to understand the differences between what happens in India and what happens outside. His perspective about being an NRI, about education, and a lot more. Okay, so let's begin. Thank you so much, sir, for being here,
You're
for
welcome.
accepting this request of a podcast. We'll get a lot of interesting information, I'm sure.
I hope so.
Great. So 16 years. It's a long time in US, trying to understand their culture, or probably let's start from the process itself of migrating from India to US. How was the journey for you? How did you start
All
looking
right.
out?
I have been in this education field for last 29 years, and I have worked in different institutions in India prior going to US. So actually, I went to US in J1 visa, which is called Cultural Exchange Visitor Program.
Oh, okay.
So that is for 3 years. So I just went there in J1 and worked in one of the school in the United States.
It was through some school here, or how?
Yes,
Okay.
definitely. Some schools should sponsor you.
Okay.
Then only you can go there
Okay.
and work there for 3 years. And then either you have to return to India, or if you have a visa waiver, if your country of origin and state of origin doesn't have any problem in continuing your profession there in US, then you can continue. You have to apply for waiver, and you can continue with a different visa, or H1B visa as a working visa.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Great. So, what is the difference between this J1 or H1B or probably any other visa that we need to travel abroad? What are the differences here?
All right. J1 actually is a cultural exchange visitor program. So even students, they go in J1 visa sometimes, educationist and different fields. So that is only for 3 years, and which can be extended up to 1 more year. But you have to return back to your country of origin after that. And it is just a sponsored program. So the institution that needs you, they will sponsor you, and they will provide you the J1 visa so that you can go and work there. And H1 is a working visa. Okay, they have a different fields. Like suppose 80 professionals, they're working in H1B visa. So likewise, if you want to continue there, you can work in H1B visa. There is other visas like L1 visa. If you want to do a business or any other field, then you can go in L1 visa.
Okay.
Um,
And business visa need not be sponsored, or how is it? It is also needed some sponsorship.
you should have a sufficient amount of money to open your business over there, and you can
Okay.
recruit some persons to work under you,
Okay.
so that you can limit their unemployment problem. So you can give jobs to some of the people there.
Okay.
Then only they will provide you that visa.
Okay. Okay.
And there are other visas like J1, H1, L1, and yeah, there are different categories, right?
Okay, great. But since you said about L1, I'm interested because you want to open some business outside, and then probably there should be some quota of how many citizens of US you have to employ to the business and how many outsiders, or something of that sort?
I'm not that much knowledgeable about that, but I think minimum you should have a $500,000
Okay.
to start your business over there. Yeah.
Okay, great, great. So these are the kind of visas that people need to migrate from India to
Right,
US.
right, exactly.
But is it different from for other countries, the visas, or it is quite
No, it is
similar?
the same. It's the same, but they have a specific number of visas they provide for each country, and visa sponsorship. Minimum, I think 60,000 sponsored visa, and 60,000 you can apply for non-sponsors like that.
Okay.
Yeah.
So this is about the process of getting visa and then migrating. So we have always heard people, moving out and looking out for their culture, tradition, and whatnot. The language itself is different, is new. So how was your experience moving out from India? And I already know that you went alone first, and then a family member went with you. So what was your process? How did you feel about it, moving to US?
Yeah, actually, I have worked here in India for last 14 years, and then I got to know through some of my friends that they're going to US on J1 visa, and I have applied, and I went through the interview process, and then I got through,
Okay.
and then I prepared myself and went there. I had to take the education certificate in the state that I'm working,
Okay.
and then I've started working there.
Okay.
So it's for 3 years, and then I have applied for visa waiver and continued with the H1B visa.
Okay.
And I've been working there for last 16 years with the H1B visa now.
And that H1B was also sponsored by some school there.
Yes,
right?
exactly.
Okay. So the sponsorship just shifted from Indian school to that,
Yeah,
and then you have continued being there.
yeah.
So, I mean, about green card, a lot of hype happens always, but I'm sure it takes some time for people to get that green card and then stabilize in the states. And I'm sure you're also going through the same process. But yeah, I mean, this is interesting. Did you find people in US a little different from how people are in India? Did you find some difficulty, having this change? What was your experience in the initial days that you were in?
Yeah, initially it was definitely difficult for us to adjust, because you know that the culture over there is different, and they have a different types of kids in the school. You face a lot of problem in the classrooms.
Yeah.
Basically, the classroom management is very difficult.
Oh.
So you have to go through a lot of process and training so that you can um, uh, make your classrooms strong and workable, and you can teach the content properly so that they can produce, the kids have can produce, right? So yeah, initially it is definitely difficult, but gradually we used to it, and the kids also know us. There's a language barrier. We speak in different accent, and they speak in different accent.
Yeah.
So it is also
But
a
I
problem.
see that accent you have already picked up from there. But I mean, is it necessary?
Yeah, definitely, because the kids they immediately catch with that language.
That is
When you
true.
speak in this, then they ask, "Oh, I don't understand." They tell like that. So
Yeah.
you have to get used
You have to
to.
be very particular about what the kids need, and I mean, because I am an IT professional, I can go outside and be myself. But you, an educationist, you have to make sure that the kids understand what you're trying to
Exactly.
deliver.
Right.
You might be a great teacher, but if you don't have the throw, you don't have the accent, people might not even understand what you're trying to teach
You're
them.
absolutely right.
Yeah. Wow. I mean, how did you? I mean, how do you find the kids there, or the teaching environment, to be specific, in the schools over there?
So far, I have taught in two different schools, and I saw that the kids basically you will find mixed culture there. You will find Spanish-speaking students, Afro-American students, Caucasian students. So they have a different cultural background, and all. So you have to adjust in the classroom.
Yeah.
So you have to learn their culture. You have to speak to their parents, and then they should be used to it so that you can capture their attention and teach them properly.
Yeah. I mean, in India, parent-teacher meeting is a horror. Students don't want their parents to be in school. Is
Right.
it the same there? Do they feel the same way?
It depends on the parents actually.
Okay.
Wherever I'm working, parents are basically from low economic background,
Okay.
so they hesitate to come to school for parent-teacher meeting. Unless parents are very much concerned about their kids' education,
Yeah.
they basically avoid coming to the school and ask for the kids' education.
Yeah.
So,
I mean, it's the same everywhere.
yeah,
Parents' education or parents' interest is it does matter.
yeah,
It does matter.
it is exactly. It is the same everywhere. It
Yeah.
depends on the parents actually.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. So coming back to you migrating from India to different country altogether, how was it establishing your unit, say your family, your living standard of living and everything? I mean,
Right.
staying in a good house to riding a good car and everything. It has been a journey, I know. But how was it for you? Did you feel that it is a little difficult in US than India, or is it easier than India? What is your perspective around it?
Of course, initially it is difficult for any person who is visiting US. You know, suppose you never drove a four wheeler and you step onto US and you need a four wheeler because otherwise you can't go, just like your leg.
Yeah.
So, driving, starting from buying a car, driving, going to school, attending the kids, learning their cultural background, finding a house, your credit history, report, and everything comes into picture there.
Yeah.
So, you learn a lot over the years.
Yeah.
And yeah, then you will learn about the visas, how to take your family members to the US with the different visas, dependent visa or independent visa, and how to adjust with their society, and yeah, yeah, all those things. Yeah.
Great, great. So, I mean, moving to US and then looking back at India from such a distance, and
Uh-huh.
maybe talking to relatives over phone and video call. Video call, I mean, it has been a recent phenomena, but I remember, getting international calls and talking to you and everything. How did you feel about it? I mean, as a whole, what is your thought being away from home and this far? And but still trying to be in touch with home. Do you have any regrets at all, or do you have all good memories around it?
I have good and bad memories. Actually, staying there, it's an easy life because the technology is so advanced there. I mean, you don't feel any difficulties, right? Suppose starting from paying the bill, the house rent or your bill, it's everything online, and wherever you go by your vehicle. You have ACs, and you don't feel hot and cold there because they have centralized AC in the house, in wherever you're working, wherever you go in your car. So the living is quite easy over there compared to here. Here it is hard, it's difficult. Yeah. So in that way it's good, and but I am missing my family over here, my siblings, and my friends, relatives. So that is a difficult part though. I hope India one day will reach up to that standard, and
I think it's
yeah.
totally at pace. We are really moving forward. We are trying to be good at technology. We have all, as you said, paying bills online and getting things online faster. I have a few friends in US, and they say that they really miss Zomato and Swiggy in United States, because that is not a very a hippie thing or something. But here in India, it's like every person, I mean, they have Zomato or they have Swiggy in their app, in their phone.
Right.
And we are all used to it.
Right.
Having food ordered and getting it in 30 minutes, 20 minutes sometimes, and enjoying. So these kind of things are happening in India, and in a very quicker pace,
Right.
I would say. And everybody outside is actually emphasizing and seeing how India is changing. So
Right.
I'm happy to be a part of it.
Uh-huh.
But yeah, so things would have been topsy turvy for you, as you said, bad and some good memories around it. Do you feel like you'll return to India sometime soon?
Not thinking now, but I will be happy to stay over there, and I would like my family members to join me over there also.
Okay,
Yes,
okay,
because once they will visit, they will understand the difference. Certainly, yeah.
okay.
But there is one difference also regarding the healthcare. I think we think that the advanced healthcare facilities, everything is there, but it's very costly, very expensive. Yeah,
Okay.
and whatever the money will go, if you will suffer,
Yeah.
then you in hospital bills you will lose everything, whatever you have kept. Yeah,
Yeah, the other day you mentioned we at least need to have two insurances to cover everything that we have had,
exactly.
during our hospital visit or something,
All right.
which is strange. I mean, having two insurances, working out of the papers and keeping it handy while you visit a hospital, that's a big headache altogether. But in India, I think it's becoming accessible. It's becoming okay to
Right.
be at standard hospitals, getting the best treatments from the best doctors in India
Exactly.
in a lower cost.
Right.
That is happening, and
Right.
I've seen that personally with my father, with my grandfather. We have had this experience being in a good hospital, not spending a lot, but getting the best quality of treatment.
Right.
So that is happening. So that is definitely a difference between how US and other countries are proceeding with their healthcare. And
Exactly.
but yeah, I don't know how it is going to be in the future. But yeah, this does have a gap. Yeah, great perspective. Okay. So, sir, you have been in the United States for last 16 years, being an educationist. You might have seen a lot of differences of how Indian education system is and how the education system there runs. Do you have any perspective around how they are different and anything around that that you'd like to shed a light on?
For sure. The education system in India and US, they have their pros and cons. In India, we stress mostly on the grades and the content, how much they grasp and all. And we do the exams always at the quarterly or at the end of the semester mostly. But in US, every day they have to answer the questions, the contents they have studied, and they will be graded on the basis of how they answer those questions, and will be put into their grade books. So it is a everyday matter, not like India that we give 2 or 3 times in a week. In US, it is every day. The teacher has to judge the content, how they have grasped the students.
Yeah, but I mean, I have seen it in my school that whenever a teacher
Right.
enters, they'll be like, "Tell me what I taught you yesterday." So that kind of thing happened. But in terms of assessment, we used to have half yearlies or term exams or maybe yearly exams.
Right.
That is what I had in my school curriculum. But does it really help having assessments daily in the United States?
Definitely.
Okay.
Because every day the teacher has made their lesson plans.
Okay.
So we are teaching some standards every day. How to judge the students whether they have grasped that standard or not. So you have to give them assessment, independent practice every day.
Okay.
So from their independent practice, you will judge whether how much percentage of students they learned, how many students they didn't learn, so that you can clarify them in the next class.
Okay.
So it is must, what I feel. Yeah.
Okay, great.
So that is the means pro side of education system there. Here we have a prescribed book, but in US they don't have any prescribed book. They have curriculum, they have standards. So we follow those standards. You can follow the content from any book you like, and you prepare your own PowerPoints, you prepare your own assessments and videos, whatever you like to show to the students, so that they can grasp the knowledge.
Yeah.
So there is no specific book, prescribed book. Unlike India, we have prescribed and book, and after every content, there are questionnaires, and we used to answer those questions. It's not like that.
Okay, but I think it is changing in India right
Uh-huh.
now because I mean, recently I've heard that electives are going to be newer options here. We
Mm-hmm.
don't have to be limited to if you are from PCM, you just have to study these three. You
Mm-hmm.
can also opt for history or geography together. That
Mm-hmm.
I know that is happening in the United States for a long time now, but this is a new concept that India is getting into, which is definitely I see a futuristic move
Right.
for India. But I know that this kind of a concept is something that is needed
Mm-hmm.
for the people here. But how has it been there in United States? Are people really benefiting from it, or what are your thoughts on it?
Actually, here we are deciding whether you have to take physics, chemistry, mathematics, biology, separate section. But there, up to 12th standard, they should have a minimum of 24 credits to graduate high school.
Okay.
So 24 credits means they must have to take the needed classes. Besides, there are some electives.
Okay.
So they have to take in science particularly they have to take chemistry, physics, physical science. There should be a minimum three lab sciences.
Okay.
So they may take physics, biology, and chemistry also.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so they can take all the three.
Okay.
So they need three lab sciences. There are four maths, I think. Altogether, there will be 24 credits required to graduate high school.
Great, awesome. I mean, we got a whole idea about how the school education system works like. But nowadays, a lot of people are migrating to the United States for doing their masters or the graduation as well. So, do you think somewhere India is lacking the opportunity of better higher studies, and how United States is, or any other foreign country for that matter, a step ahead from India? I mean, is there some gap here that we are seeing?
In terms of technology, I think US is definitely way advanced compared to India. You know, the kids in high school in America, they use iPads. They have tablets. They have laptops. In every class, in each student, they have their laptops and iPads. They connect to the Wi-Fi and they do all the activities in their iPads, and they're used to the technology. Compared to India, we don't even we have schools, so they don't have smart boards.
Yeah.
But they are using the technology in very well, I think. Yeah.
Yeah.
And besides that, they have advanced subjects in high school, like earth science. They have oceanography. They have the other sciences also, health science. So they have advanced courses.
Yeah.
Students, those who are interested, they can take that.
Mm-hmm.
And they have also some courses which can give them the um, uh, opportunities to work after 12th, like they learn this one the auto mechanics. They learn carpentry. They learn the AC and all those systems. You have to repair and
So life skills are
yeah,
equally important to
yes,
be taught in schools than the
yes,
other curricular subjects.
exactly.
Okay, I think that is a very important point. And I, being a Kendra Vidyalaya student, I have had this opportunity of going through multiple different subjects. Like we used to have this craft period and this SUPW and art and everything. So as a student, I understood that okay, this is where I'm lacking. This is where I need to work on. Also, I was in sports, so I got ample amount of opportunities to represent my state, my country as well. So that kind of a thing I'm used to. But the fact that you said that smart boards are a thing that is used, then technology and everything, I mean, I am seeing this change happening in India. Recently I heard this news that government is planning to start teaching AI from say 6th standard or 7th standard. And that is because now that chat gpt is a hype,
Right.
and how things are moving fast with AI, they want the students to be equally technology I mean, they have to be that advanced to make the most of it.
Right.
Other than that, I recently went to my native place, which is in Mahipur, village in Odisha, and I was happy to see that they have smart boards. So if you just open the green board, I mean, they have their smart boards behind that, and teachers are using it
Right.
to
In the classroom.
show some lessons, some videos around, say, science or maths or anything else. I saw that happening, and a remote village like that, I didn't see it possible for a long time. But now that things are changing in India, I'm really happy to be a part of this progressive India.
Yeah, actually, pandemic
Yeah.
has made this possible.
True,
And
true.
because of the pandemic, the kids in US, kids in India, they use cell phones,
Yeah.
right? And teachers, they used to teach via cell phone, preparing videos or online classes. So kids in India are actually much more smart as compared to.
Is it?
Yeah, in the.
This is your personal
But the thing is,
valuation.
although they are not getting the opportunity, but they are much more smarter, and that's
Yeah,
the reason
yeah.
you will see in the IT field, in wherever country, whichever country you go, Indian people are doing well.
Yeah. So we are smarter
Yeah.
than the rest of the world, and we can find our way in any kind of situation.
Right.
We'll move on to the
Okay.
next section.
All right.
So we are at the PM Sangrahalaya, and we looked at the entire political history that India has been a part of. So all thanks to our different PMs and presidents and everyone who has really been good at taking India to the world level. Narendra Modi, he's popular in a lot of different countries outside India. Is there a vibe in United States? Do NRI really feel safe that Narendra Modi is our prime minister?
Oh, definitely, yes. When he became prime minister in the year 1914, after becoming prime minister, when he visited US, the crowd, there are a lot of crowd gathered in New York, and that has surpassed even the previous record. And that's still now the record. How many US NRIs attended his meeting, and they were so much happy to invite him to US. And you know that because of his image now, India is popular in all the countries.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. I mean, that's a great thing because I see nowadays, I mean, our local news is also an international news. I mean,
Right.
anything that happens in India, people are knowing outside. So I'm pretty sure that Modi, being Narendra Modi, has went to different countries, has brought different kind of recognition to
Right.
India. Wow, great to know that US also has that vibe with
Yes,
us.
yes. Still now, not only US. I think in all the countries, whenever he visited, the NRIs they invite him and appreciate him for his works and deeds.
Yeah.
And India got a very good image outside because of his actions, because of his initiatives, and now India is definitely growing, not only economically but also technologically and all the fields.
Wow, wow.
Yeah, all credit goes to our PM, Mr. Narendra Modi.
Great, great. It was great having a conversation with you. We got many different aspects of how you see India, how people see India outside, about education, about how to be outside, the visa and everything. It was a great conversation indeed. But where do you see India right now? Do you really suggest people to still move outside and look for opportunities, or do you see India being there, having more and more opportunities?
I think it is necessary. The economy, India's economy, grown. It's because of the NRIs, and when they visited US and other countries, there definitely that helps our country to grow and economically, right? And you know that in NASA, most percentage of Indians are working, and they depends on India now. So indirectly, although we are working in other countries, but our heart is in India. So and that helps to grow our nation.
Yeah.
And we represent our country in all parts, and definitely we are feeling proud of that.
Yeah.
And wherever the Indians are working, they try to see India in the top, and that's why whatever the work is going on now, we are definitely happy and supporting. And I hope many young generations, they will like to come and work there, and they help to grow India.
Yeah.
Okay.
Great. Thank you so much for the
Thank you.
conversation.
Thank
It
you
was
for listening.
delightful.
Thank you so much.